Hey, Bridget. Welcome to Office Hours. Office Hours. This is a new thing we're doing. I'm probably going to say this again, too, as we go through the live stream. But we'll give some other folks a chance to get started. Hello. This is like a live Q&A, basically, is what this is. And I'm planning to do this hopefully every week. So you see the thumbs up right there. The thumbs up has already started on the camera. This is going to be a live Q&A type live stream. The Movie Addict, hello. And Jesse is here, of course, sitting right beside me. Indie Phantom is here. How are you? The Monkey is here. Hello. Wilkie's Movies and Music. And Jesse is ready. She's sitting beside. Right, Jesse? You're here?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, I'm here. You can hear everybody. Can you hear everybody? Can you hear Jesse? Okay. I think from last week, we've said that you can hear Jesse. But this is what we do in the morning usually, and it's already in the afternoon for us, but we sit in the office and talk about entertainment news and talk about lots of different things. And what I'd wanted to do, I used to do a recorded video for Q&A where I would answer questions, but I thought I would just do a live video. And it's probably going to be weekly. I'm not sure it'll always be on Thursdays, but mostly Retro is here. Hello. But, just to answer questions, if you have any questions about movies or anything, or maybe you have some news to share, that would be great as well. And then I've got some things to show, but I think we were going to start with talking about, we went to Target yesterday for the first time in a while. We rarely get out of the house, but Jesse and I went to Target yesterday, and we were underwhelmed by the experience, I feel like. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Jesse's busy doing other things, but she's gonna.
No, it seems like they're reducing the media section by a lot.
Yeah, I was really surprised, and also I know it was during the day that we went and everything, but it seemed like there weren't as many movies there. There were less movies there than I would have ever imagined. Hi from Yonkers, New York. Hello, late night double feature picture show. Hello. Thanks for joining us today. This is, again, a new thing that we're doing, a little Q&A. If you have any questions, too, we'll talk about some things, but feel free to ask a question and give me some news if you have news. But I didn't see anything there that I wanted. We saw some books and we looked at some other things, but it seemed like the store itself seemed very desolate. Could I use that word for Target? It's very desolate there.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
There were a lot of bare shelves. And movies were just in a lot of end caps and kind of weird places. It was hard to find. Before, it used to be all together and you could see all the new stuff, and it seemed like they were gonna remodel or something. There was a lot missing.
And also I feel like now this is something that I don't know if this has happened, but there was a guy with a cart doing some I guess they were doing the curbside pickup or something like that, those orders that they do.
Yeah.
And I got honked at in the aisle. They have a little horn on the cart. And I was walking through, we were just looking for our items. And instead of saying, excuse me or whatever, he just honked at me in this little cart. I thought that was weird. Do you find that was weird? You were there for that. You saw that.
Yeah, it was weird because at first I thought it was just
what was going on.
Their phone makes because they're picking up curbside orders to hurry up, we gotta do this thing. But then I think it was because we were in the aisles and they needed to get where we were, so it beeps at you. I think
he pressed the horn on the cart. That's what I thought. Mr. Sushi, hello. Mr. Sushi said, I'm going to go to Vinegar Cinema store today. Is that the Archive in Connecticut? Is that? You seem to be on the fence about I'm going to talk about Columbo too. Thanks for reminding me about Columbo. I'll hold off a little bit on Columbo, but I do have things to say. Hi, Steve. Is this the archive in Connecticut? I've always wanted to go there, by the way. I don't know if that's the store, but Indie Fandom said, oh, they have an archive. I didn't know they have an archive in Denver. That's really interesting. Wow, that's great. I've always wanted, there's the archive in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Maybe I didn't talk about this enough,
so there's
but
more than one
I guess there is, but but that's a store that I would have loved to, that I'd love to go to. Indie Phantom said, Target closed in Canada, and the one good thing were the last deals. Probably bought 100 Blu-rays. Was about 8 years ago. Wow. Maddie, hello. There's an archive in Toronto. I'm learning so many new things today. Thank you very much. An archive in Toronto also. That's interesting too. I love the archive. I would love to go there. That's, in fact, if you look at, because we have a bucket list together, and that's on my bucket list to go to the archive in Bridgeport, Connecticut.
A few locations we could go to.
Yeah. My teacher knows the creator of the company and told me to go there. I forgot what we were talking. Oh, we were talking about.
Target.
I was in Target, as I was saying, and somebody. I feel like I saw him press a button on the cart that was a horn instead of saying like, "Please move out of the way."
I don't even think you were in the way.
I don't think I was in the way either, but he was going across with a cart, and he just. Hey, Mary. Hello, Mary. Good morning. Driving in the aisles, road rage. Yeah, that's. Yeah, maybe Target's a war zone. I really felt like that too. I was really surprised by it. In fact, we had a conversation afterwards about whether maybe we'll only go. See, I'm speechless about it because we'll probably only go to Target maybe once a quarter now, right? Once every 3 months or so because of the we used to go to Target all the time.
We used to go all the time, and then this time we went because we needed to pick up a few things that we can't get at like our usual stores for our weekly shopping. And we're like, oh, we'll pick up some media. There's a new book out that I wanted to get. You always like to look at what the movies are, what movies are out, and you usually find some pretty good deals. And then this time we did all our adult shopping, and then there were no treats.
There were no treats also, which is really weird. Yeah. Steve said, I always have stuff like that happen at Costco, but I guess I didn't realize they had outfitted the carts for the curbside pickup with a horn.
Oh, well, at Costco, they're like,
do they have horns? Oh, they have the forklifts. Yeah, that's right. They're coming out and everything. Well, those have to have horns because you can't.
They're backing up and they're going through the aisle. And everything. This was just like.
Maybe they were targeting me.
Like
that's what the movie addict said. Maybe they were targeting me.
I don't know.
They were targeting. Yeah, it seems like a lot of. It seems like a lot of maybe Target. Do you think Target will turn into a warehouse with just people doing online ordering and there won't be anything left there? I don't know.
I know from doing online orders at Target.com that they do just pull things right off the shelf, put them in a box, and send them to you. So that's what
maybe that's what they were doing. Yeah,
a lot of them are like order fulfilling, and then we just happen to get to shop there at the same time.
Shopping will take less time to get everything on the list. That's for sure too. I was just really disappointed with I knew I was going to be disappointed going there because I feel like I wanted to see more movies there still, but and I was happy to see that they had like I'm interested in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, that new movie that came out. I was interested in that, but I didn't pick it up. But they didn't really have anything else, They didn't have other, we found some Blu-rays sort of around the backside of the aisles there, but there were not a lot of books there. There were not a lot of movies. There were like a few records there, but that was it.
Yeah.
Anyway, Mike said, I prefer online pickup, so I don't buy anything. Well, maybe they were, maybe they have cart. I'm really speechless over this whole thing. I really am. I really feel like that. I don't buy things I don't need when going to Target. I really was just looking at the movies. I guess we won't go for a few more months, right?
Probably not, yeah.
Boy, that's disappointing. Question was, what are my top favorite, and this is also for the chat too, new upcoming Criterion releases. I'm looking forward to the Chantal Akerman set. That's one of the things that's at the top of my list. And I think Lone Star came out. That's another one. That's the John Sayles movie that I'm interested in picking up. But of course, hopefully there'll be a Barnes & Noble, or not a Barnes & Noble, a Criterion flash sale maybe this month.
Oh yeah.
Don't you think? I haven't seen anything online, but I'm thinking there's going to be a flash sale, which is 24 hours. I feel like I'm under a lot of pressure for those sales, but as always, you can ask any questions in the chat and I'll be happy to answer those. And as I was saying in the beginning, I used to do a recorded video for the Q&A, but I've decided to kind of go to this live format probably once a week just to talk to Jesse as we do office hours. Office hours.
That's right.
Office. I'll just keep saying the name of because we're sitting in the office here, and this is where we usually talk in the morning, even though it is afternoon here. Brent says, I hope the flash sale happens after the Eric Romer box release set. I am excited for that Eric Romer set too. That's something. I have the other Eric Romer set, which is good. Maddie said, I still get that excitement of physical media buying by thrifting. I've gotten so much good stuff while still avoiding things I don't have but plan to upgrade later. I do, we go to some library sales. We go to Big Lots. We go to I think there's a Goodwill, which you haven't been to here, that's new, that opened in town, that we like to go to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's nice to find, especially when you're familiar with physical media enough to know what's out of print that someone might have gotten rid of or something, and you can pick up. I'm still hoping that at the last library sale, I was able to pick up quite a few Criterion titles that I didn't have, that a lot of people just got rid of, and I got them for $1, which was really nice. This would be nice too, the Edward Yang set. That would be nice to see after the new restorations that played at the Lincoln Center recently. That would be good. What is everyone else looking forward to? Also, if you want to let everyone know in the chat. But of course, I have a short list, and the Chantal Ackerman set is at the top of my list. Lone Star is on the list. I'm sure there'll be others too. I brought one just in case. I wanted to talk about this again. One of my favorite sets from Criterion, from one of my favorite directors. And I've talked about this. I have a series of videos on this if you haven't seen them. But it's this set, which I think is so beautifully put together, from Abbas Kiarostami, the Coker trilogy. And there's also a special feature on the Criterion channel right now, too, where Greta Gerwig talks about how she really enjoys Where is the Friend's House, which is such an amazing film. And I love Abbas Kiarostami and his work as a filmmaker. But this is one of my favorites. It's so well put together. This particular trilogy. This is one where they list the spine numbers on the side: 990 to 991 and 992, and then lots of extra features on the back too. Beautiful set. If you get a chance, if you haven't seen these films before, I think they may be on the Criterion channel also. But I really love it, and I'm thinking about revisiting it. This is one that I could definitely go back to watch over and over again. So, and I have a few other Criterions. Steve, Kiss meets the Phantom of the Park to the collection. I think I would probably like to see that. Robot Dreams, my favorite office-related film. There's one that came to mind right away, but
Office Space?
Office Space, yeah. That's a great film. But I always recommend, I used to work in an office for many years, and I'm still in the office because this is office hours. But that's a film I would say never watch that on a Sunday night, because you'll probably call in sick on Monday if you watch that movie.
Yeah.
But we love that movie, right?
Yeah, it's really good.
Is there another movie about the office that we like as much as that one? I can't think of one about an office. I probably wouldn't watch too many movies about an office.
I mean, I guess I know like more shows like The Office. And Severance. Those are good.
Oh, Severance. That's right. Oh yeah, Severance. Yeah. Aren't they filming season 2 of Severance now?
I think so.
Please let us know too if you can't hear Jesse or something, or if the audio gets a little bit too much. I'm trying to not get too close to the microphone also. I think that's the only ones I can think of. Office Space.
Office Films.
Office Films.
Oh, like Devil Wears Prada. That's a good office.
Devil Wears Prada. Is that an office? Oh yeah, that does take place in an office. Yeah, I haven't seen that in a long time. Robot Dream. Oh, sorry.
Well, no, just like corporate office. I can't think of that many.
I was thinking like The Wolf of Wall Street, but I'm not sure if that's always.
Oh yeah, that's like an office film. Yeah.
But did you hear about this thing? There's a big. Speaking of Scorsese, there's a situation now too where I think Killers of the Flower Moon, which is on Apple, right?
Yeah.
Is that people are having to order that, I think, from overseas. Please correct me if I'm wrong on any of these things too, but people are having to order that, and they're worried about maybe there's not going to be a US version of that you can get. I haven't seen Killers of the Flower Moon yet, and we don't have Apple TV right now, right?
No.
So you have to order it, but it's region locked when you get it. So if you have to have it, you have to have a region free Blu-ray player, I think, to watch that. But
very accessible for a film about the American history, right?
Oh, 9 to 5. That's a good one. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
The UK office or the Bridget was saying the UK office or the USA office. I think we started to watch the UK office too, which is very funny. I love that too. Funny. Yeah. 9 to 5 is a great one. Yeah.
Oh, what's that one about the unions? That's not really an office because they work in a factory.
Norma Ray.
Yeah.
It's not really. Yeah, but it's. Good. But yeah, the monkey said the audio is perfect. I sound like Charles Heston. Okay, that's nice. Thank you. When I was in college, I watched Office Space and thought it was okay. I watched it again after I got a little older and loved it. I'm 41 now. Yeah, I think I was watching that years ago, and I would make sure that I didn't watch it on a Sunday night because I would definitely not be into work on Monday for that.
I think I felt that way about The Office because one of my friends in college loved the show, and I think because it was in college, I didn't really understand all like the office humor because I hadn't worked in that space.
In an office, yeah.
And while I haven't worked in that space, I do understand like the interpersonal work relationships that make the show funny.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it's a really great movie. Now I'm going to be singing this song now all day, 9 to 5, the Dolly Parton song. Margin Call, an Office movie. I'm not sure about that. I don't think I've seen Margin Call, but Brent says Fight Club takes place in an office. I haven't seen Fight Club in a while, but
yeah, I think
I'm not sure.
Yeah, because I think he works in an office in the beginning.
Modesty Blaze said, "Hi Dave, how are you? I think I'm doing okay today, don't you think? Office hours. I had some waffles for breakfast with some syrup on it, so I feel like I've had a lot of sugar already today. I've had a little sugar. Oh boy, Columbo. I was hoping to hold off on Columbo, but Columbo did a 1978 episode, Make Me a Perfect Murder, taking place in an office. Yes, indeed. Columbo. Should I start talking about Columbo? Great to see you back for another Office Hours. We're happy to be back too. By the way, this is a new thing. I know I'm saying this over and over again. I feel like I need to for some reason, but Q&A. This is going to be a live Q&A type format, and it's just Jesse and I in the office, and Jesse's sitting next to me, and we sit here together and we talk about lots of things in the morning, in the afternoon, whenever we're in the office, because we're always on Twitter or X or Instagram or Instacart. I don't know what it is, but it's the whole. But anyway. Sue said, I just made it in time for the Columbo conversation. I better get started with the Columbo conversation, right?
Yeah.
I have a lot of thoughts about Columbo. First of all, I'm very sad because I'm down to the last two episodes of Columbo. It's really, I've watched the first 7 seasons already, but I've been watching the TV movies and I'm getting sad. I'm getting sad now. I really am getting sad now because I only have 1.5 left.
And the one you're watching is really good. Like it's
like really good. I mean, it's still good.
Like a season 2 or season 3 kind of episode. So it's a little bit of a shame that there's only 1.5 left. I'm going to have to start watching them again.
Unfortunately for you, but I mean, I'm getting, I'm sad about it because the last couple of episodes I've watched, I've been really touched because of the fact that Patrick McGoohan has been part of it. And if you've watched Columbo, Patrick McGoohan, who was great in The Prisoner and so many other things. He and Peter Falk, I was reading online, were friends. They were friends. He did a couple of the episodes. He's in one of the last episodes of Columbo, and you can see there's a situation where Patrick McGoohan plays I guess he's a funeral director, in the episode. But they're sitting they're having a conversation there's a hearse that they're in, and they're sitting in there. Oh, Glenn Ross, by the way, that's a great Office movie, by the way.
Yeah.
Office movie.
Good one.
Anything distracts me, basically, right? But they're sitting in a hearse and they're talking together, and you can just see. In fact, I paused the screen and I was talking to Jesse about it, and I said, you can see the love that they have for each other because they were friends. They were creative collaborators, and you can just see the admiration and the respect they have for each other as actors, as performers when they're sitting there. And of course, Patrick McGoohan is directing the episodes, and in fact, he's directing the episode that I'm watching today, and I only have 1.5 left to go. So that really touched me. That really that was really moving to see that, especially considering Peter Falk's career and everything he's been through.
Yeah. Plus, there was a scene like early on where like there's the Patrick McGoohan character is supposed to be like kind of mad, but where you paused it, you could see like they're both facing the same way, but like they're both smiling. So as much as they're supposed to be like tense in the scene, they were both like clearly just enjoying like making the episode together.
Yeah, and also I just love that Patrick McGoohan was so interested in Columbo and working with Peter Falk that he directed the episodes, and he really does a great job doing that. Being John Malkovich is a brilliant Office movie, which I haven't seen in a long time. Oh, you were in a play, Glenn Ross, for a few months in the 90s. That's great to know. I would have loved to have been in that play too. That's an amazing play, the David Mamet play. Maddie said, we just saw this morning, right? A cover of Columbo. What if #1, due to a clerical mix-up, Columbo's mistaken for a pathogen specialist and dispatched to Antarctica Outpost 31. Looks fake, but fun. But it looks like The Thing, right? It's The Thing.
Yeah, I think he would have solved the case.
He would have easily solved the case. Yeah. I think once he saw the dogs, he probably would have solved the case. Don't you think?
Oh yeah, he would have loved that.
He would have, yeah.
I think the raincoat would have been a little light for the snows of
the raincoat. Oh yeah, right. You're right. He would have needed a heavier jacket. Would he? I guess that's the question. Would he have gotten rid of the raincoat? Do you think do you think he would have gotten rid of the raincoat, or would he? I could picture Columbo in this big parka.
I think he would have shown up in his raincoat, and they would have given him a parka, and he would just put it right over the raincoat.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, just to keep his hands warm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder what he would have done in that environment. Please gently hit the like button. Everybody, thank you very much for mentioning that. Fleece lined raincoat. Yeah, that's true. But you remember that episode where Peter Falk he was given a new raincoat from his wife, Mrs. Columbo, who you never see in the show. I think this is the other thing that really makes me a little bit sad about Columbo is you never see Mrs. Columbo. I know it's a whole thing with the show and everything. And I know there was a show afterwards called Mrs. Columbo. In fact, there's a bonus episode on the DVD set of Columbo for Mrs. Columbo, which I have to see. So maybe that'll carry me through.
Maybe. And
then, of course, we're waiting for the Kino Lorber set for the movies to come out, which I'm hoping is going to have extra features on it. The chili froze.
Oh man.
Well, you could warm it up with that. You could warm it up with that torch.
The flamethrower.
The flamethrower. You could warm it up with the flamethrower. So he probably have like a pocket flamethrower. You know what I mean? Like one of those. So he could heat up his chili whenever needed.
He'll bring his own hot plate.
His own hot plate. Just don't put it in the lab where they were, had all those creatures that came out of the lab. He should be in like another area of the thing.
Yeah.
Thanks everybody for joining today too, by the way. This is such a fun discussion. Of course, I could talk about Columbo for a long time, so I'm trying to really keep it down, keep it to a minimum. I'm trying to keep it to a maximum. How long, the S-Man said, how long have I been collecting movies for? You've known me for a long time. I think in the time that we've known each other, I've been collecting movies. And before that, I was collecting a lot of VHS, but there was a time where I had to, this is a long answer for this question, but I had to donate a few of my movies or sell some movies too when we moved here, because we lived in California for a while. But I always had VHS tapes. I can remember moving from house to house, loading up my car with VHS tapes in the back. Yeah. And then we got rid of a lot of VHS tapes, which I really regret. That's one of the things I regret, because I wish I had those VHS. I have a few VHS tapes, and there's a video on the channel with what I have left. But
I think the short answer is probably about 40 years.
40 years.
We're not joking either.
We're not joking, because I used to rent a lot of movies. I had I had a Laserdisc player. So I've had 40, I think, years. But
if Jaws Laserdisc, and you bought that like when it came out.
I did buy that
it
when it
wasn't
came
like
out.
You bought it secondhand or at a thrift store.
You reminded me that's been 40 years. That's a long time. 40 years is a long time.
Isn't that like how Titanic starts? Like, it's been 40 years. And then she
40
tells the
years
story.
ago, I started my movie
Something.
collection, and I had a thing.
I feel like that.
40 years ago. I still regularly find DVDs that I picked up, early on. I think I have a video on the channel about that. By the way, a lot of people were asking last week about Jessie. She's not on the channel, but she is on the channel. You've been in some videos on the channel.
I have been in some videos.
You were on the Godzilla -1.
Yep.
You were on the Dungeons and Dragons when we went to see that. Yeah. And then recently, I'm not thinking of the third one. No, you were on the thrift store one, the risky thrift store thing.
Yeah. So basically, anytime you went to the movies, I also
you were
went
there.
To the movies. And then risky trip to the thrift store is on there. I'm in that one. And then about 75% of the time when you go to Barnes & Noble, I'm probably in it a little bit.
Yeah, I think so. You're in the background.
Well, like
you're shooting the B-roll for that.
Yeah, but I'm like
we're shooting B-roll for that.
Sometimes I'm in the intro because we do the intros like together.
Yeah. This is quickly going to become the Columbo Peter Falk live stream, but that's okay because I love that. I'm going back here a little bit. Mr. Sushi also. Well, guys and gals, time to start the day. Hope you have a fantastic day. I don't know if Mr. Sushi is still here, but thank you for joining us today. Are you a fan of other detective shows? You know the answer to this one, but I will say yes, I am. And so I guess I could go on to Rockford Files, McCloud, McCabe and Mrs. Miller. No, not McCabe and Mrs. Miller, but there's a McMillan and Wife, which I haven't talked about before.
Well,
there's so many.
Canon. A few years ago, we watched some Magnum PI.
We watched Barnaby Jones. Remember how much I love Barnaby Jones? But I only have one season of it because if you watch Barnaby Jones on streaming, it looks really bad. The second season doesn't look good.
Yeah, that's how you got into Columbo, because you started with Barnaby Jones, and then season 2 was a disappointment quality-wise, so you moved on to Columbo, and now here we are.
And now here we are with Columbo. I'm just going back in the comments here. Talking of 70s crime TV shows, do you like the British show The Avengers or Department S? I think I've seen The Avengers, but I love recommendations too. So if anyone has recommendations, feel free. If you're watching this later on replay too, let me know. Vampire's Kiss. I love Vampire's Kiss also with Nicolas Cage. Has some memorable office moments, some office scenes. I knew about this, Sue, that Tim Talks is doing the top 25 for the 70s. It's your category. I should consider doing that. I haven't done that.
You've thought about making lists.
It's hard for me to do that.
Hard, so you'd have to just make a lot of content about the 70s in general.
Yeah, it's really hard for me to make lists, other than lists of things I want to get. But I mean, but it's hard for me to have a top 25. But
yeah.
But I'll definitely give that some thought. I love Peter Falk in The Princess Bride. The Princess Bride is a great movie, and of course The In-Laws. I love The In-Laws.
Oh, and then weren't you gonna watch this one too?
What am I gonna watch?
This one.
Oh yeah, this one. Yeah, you're right. Oh, that did I talk? I think I talked about this one last week. But this is Peter Falk and John Cassavetes in Mikey and Nikki, which is a film by Elaine May, who I really like a lot. And of course, this is a Criterion, spine number 957, and there's the back So I want to watch this one. Look at Peter Falk. Look at him there. Look at him there. Of course, John Cassavetes was in Columbo, as we know. But I'm planning to that. That's on my stack to watch, which I haven't had a chance to watch yet. How old was I when Columbo first aired? Very young. I feel like I was very young because Columbo started in 1971.
Okay.
1984 could be an office movie, perhaps. Was 1984? I guess you and I went to New York City and we saw the play in 1984, right, with Olivia Wilde in it, right? Didn't we see that?
That was intense. Yeah.
That was an intense play, but it was one of the only plays I think we've seen together, which was good. But it did seem to have an office atmosphere at a couple of points. But that's the play, so I don't know about the movie.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, I think they do. I mean, it's hard because offices can look different, right? Like different structures can still be considered an office.
That's true. I'm sure I saw Columbo when I was a kid, but I've been rediscovering it, which is great. I just love I'm going to get sad again.
Don't get sad.
Oh, sorry. Indie Phantom said I got rid of my laser discs, kept some of the rare VHS, and still collect DVD and Blu-ray. I would like to, honestly, I would like to start collecting more VHS and more laser disc. I'm sure you're so happy to hear that when I say that on the live stream.
There's still some shelf space.
There's still a little shelf space left for that, yeah. Did I have to walk to the movie store in the snow uphill both ways? I didn't have to walk. I just walked one way to the, only one way, but in bare feet though. It was cold. Burn Notice is a great modern day detective show. Okay, that's good to know. I love recommendations. I do have Streets of San Francisco, by the way. That's another one that I can start. I have that whole series on DVD, so I'm going to Columbo cookbook. That would be, that's a good idea. Columbo cookbook. It's just going to be chili recipes.
And peanut butter and raisins.
Peanut butter and raisins and hard-boiled eggs.
Hard-boiled eggs.
But maybe we can do something with the shells. Because he has the hard-boiled egg and he has to hand the shells off to somebody. I don't know if you could do anything with the eggshells.
He wanted to put them in that one. He wanted to put the hard shells in the ashtray, and the ashtray was missing, and that was like part of the mystery. Did you see last night too? We were talking about this, where Columbo said, "Do you mind if I smoke this cigar?" Because he doesn't really smoke as much usually in the later episodes. I found, but he pulled like a used cigar out of an Altoid case. Yeah,
did you see that?
Do you mind if I smoke this small cigar? And it was like in an Altoids tin.
We're on the episode. If you follow Columbo with Billy Connolly plays a concert conductor, and so they're having a cigar together, which must have been fun too for Billy Connolly, I'm sure. Yeah. And that's the episode, another episode that Patrick McGowan
it's fun
directs.
To see the backlot in all the episodes.
It is fun to see the Universal backlot in those. Yeah, I would have loved to see. I remember being on the Universal Studios tour, and I remember seeing the Columbo car before I was really into Columbo, and I still regret that I didn't take a photo of it because it was back there. The Columbo car.
Not really out now.
It's not out there anymore. I don't think. Maybe they rotate those cars. I don't know. Barney Miller is a great show. That is a good show. I love that. I love the theme to Barney Miller also. Brazil is amazing and has an office setting. Amazon has that's really good to know. Amazon has a buy one, get one 50% off on movies. I'm going to pick up Lawrence of Arabia and The Father Blu-ray. Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I'd love to look at that.
I love the Naked Gun series. I love that. I have that on DVD. In fact, I should probably upgrade that to Blu-ray, I feel like. But I love the opening of that. You've seen that show, before with me, right?
That's like the satire show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the movies. I love the movies. If I need a good laugh, I watch those, but
is that the one where they have like the shootout?
Yeah, and they're both really close together because they have like a shootout and they show people and then they zoom in, and I mean there's a lot of funny parts to that. But I love that. I love that one.
We were thinking of watching Monk.
Oh, that's right. We're going to start Monk. I think we started to watch a couple episodes, and then I thought we should finish Columbo first, or I should finish Columbo first while you're reading a book.
Yeah. Well, and we had like a show in progress, right? So we weren't available for our like watching together time.
I mean, that's true. Yeah, you're
we
right.
don't typically watch at night. You usually just watch something, and I do something else.
I'm still thinking about the Columbo cookbook. Maybe there is a Columbo cookbook.
There already is one.
Do you think there is one?
Probably. I'll see.
Let me know if you have other questions, though, too. I love the thanks for, again, joining today. I really appreciate it. Any other questions or anything else we want to talk about? I'm going to have to go back to the beginning and watch the original movie from 1968 and then get into Columbo again. Start from the beginning. Is there a Columbo cookbook?
Yeah, there is.
There's already a Columbo cookbook.
Yeah, and
maybe I was supposed to get the Columbo.
One, he cooked veal. He cooked veal scallopini and white wine, and that one.
Oh, that was when he was. Chef. Yeah, that's right. When he.
Yeah. Recipes in there.
Oh yeah.
There's pork chops and avocado and ribs, and then it has like Gene Barry and Lee Grant and Jack Cassidy all have like recipes. Leonard Nimoy's potatoes. Like he has a potato recipe in there.
Leonard Nimoy has a recipe in there?
Price has a recipe in there. So it's like Donald Pleasance has a recipe in there. So it's like Peter Falk and then the guests, like Johnny Cash.
The guests. But those were not included in the TV show though. It's only the chili stuff. I don't think because Leonard Nimoy didn't cook, I don't think, in his episode.
No, but they like contributed a recipe to this book.
Oh. All right. Well, the Columbo cookbook is out already.
It's called Cooking with Columbo. Columbo.
Cooking with Columbo. I'm gonna need. I'm gonna need to get that. Is there a hard boiled egg recipe in there? You just pull a hard boiled egg out of your pocket and crack it open and hand someone the shells and eat it. With
Johnny Cash's chili.
Johnny Cash's chili, yeah, but Johnny Cash, though, I don't think had a chili. He didn't make anything in his episode, but
Robert Conrad's infamous hangover eggs.
Oh, interesting. Infamous hangover, really? Robert Conrad, of course. Robert Conrad, we love Robert Conrad.
Billy Connolly's stuffed trout. That's naughty.
Billy Connolly's stuffed trout. Film Collector Archive said, hello, by the way. I'm through season 1 of the Kino Columbo set. Such a treat. What do you like about Columbo, Film Collector Archive? Let me know, too. There's so many things I like about it. I feel like I could it's now a comfort show for me, for sure. I love the fact, too, and there's a few episodes that deviate from this, but the most of the episodes, you know who the killer is in the beginning. It's just the tango with Columbo and whoever the killer is or whoever the criminal is through the episode.
Yeah.
But it seems like he usually knows who it is right away for some reason, and then they reveal that at the end usually. But I don't like to give away too many of the guest stars either, because there's so many guest stars. When you see the list of guest stars on that thing, it's so great. Homicide: Life on the Street. I think I've seen some episodes of that. I need to see that also. How fast would Columbo solve the Scream franchise? Again, I think he would solve things pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Everything pretty quickly, but he might not reveal it for a while. But
well,
I was just thinking,
true. He would wait for a while. He'd be like hanging out with the gang, and from what I can remember about Scream 1, there's something about like someone's shoes give it away pretty quickly. So I feel like he would know like right.
He would know right away. Yeah. I was just laughing because I think you were partially watching last night, but the one with Billy Connolly, he's got to help Billy Connolly get home. And of course, if you've ever seen Columbo's car before, so he says, Billy Connolly's had a few drinks. And so he said, you really should, follow me home. But Columbo grabs some evidence from the house or whatever, and he puts it in his car, and then he starts to drive. But of course, he said, we'll drive really slow. We'll take all the side streets. And Billy Connolly is very frustrated because he wishes he could just drive, right? But Columbo stops the car a couple times to run back to Billy Connolly to ask him a question, like while they're on the freeway.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious. I think it's hilarious. I know a lot of people don't like the later episodes, but I thought that was hilarious. The fact that he has and then of course they do this a couple times and Columbo runs out of gas. So he has to use Billy Connolly's car phone to then call to have somebody bring a couple gallons of gas out to him. And then he drives Billy Connolly home, and he has to bring the evidence back to the car too, because he's got all the evidence in his car.
Yeah, he calls like
it's the whole thing.
Someone on his
Hey, Scalder.
team, and then he says like, hey, can you like bring my car to this guy's house?
Yeah.
And I'll get it later.
Yeah. Well, I was so surprised. I was so amused by that. The fact that he, you see him stopping on the freeway and there's cars driving by and everybody's honking and everything like that. And then he goes over to Billy Connolly's car, and he has to bring all the evidence, like all the stuff that he's grabbed. And Peter Falk from the beginning of Columbo, he's always kind of famous for carrying a lot of things with him. He's very awkward, right? He's got a lot of things in his coat.
Yeah.
He's carrying a lot of things, but he runs back with all the evidence to ask Billy Connolly a question. He has a question he's got the dry cleaning. He's got all this evidence in his car and stuff. There was one other thing I was going to say about Columbo.
Just one.
First of all, I don't know. I haven't seen the last episode, but I would have liked to have seen Columbo's house, like where he's living. But then they would have to reveal Mrs. Columbo, which there wasn't really one, right? We thought he was imagining Mrs. Columbo for a while because he would just use that to kind of as a conversation starter, right?
Yeah. I can't mention this film because I don't want to spoil the ending, but it's like another well-known film where the character talks about his partner in the present tense, but she's actually in the past tense.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it could be like that, but it goes on too long for it to be the truth.
Yeah, that's true. There was one episode where he had an apartment that he was using as his place, but it wasn't really his apartment. He was like renting an apartment as a setup for one of the criminals.
Yeah.
But that's another story. That's for another live stream. Excelsior Movie Reviews said, have you thought about doing a top 20? Top lists are really tough for me. But I'll definitely think about it. I'd heard about that challenge that's out there, so maybe I'll think about that a little bit more. Jack Cassidy, of course, was in a few of the episodes. He was in a Private Files of J. Edgar Hoover. It's a decent yarn about a top cop with Michael Parks as Bobby Kennedy trying to complete the Unseen Larry Cohen films. Wow. Imagine an image of Columbo's wife was Jessica Fletcher. Interesting. I'm gonna have to look into that a little bit more. But Film Collector Archive said, I love the 70s vibe. Definitely love the 70s part. It was personally gratifying to finally see Spielberg's episode, which is very good too, by the way. Steven Spielberg. I love the score. It's great to see Billy Goldberg on there. He scored Spielberg's Duel, which is a great movie, by the way. Steven Spielberg is one of my favorite movies that he did. I like I've said this before, but I really enjoy the episodes where not a lot happens. I mean, the episodes are typically about an hour and a half long. And there are some episodes where it seems like they could have cut a lot of it, but I love that they didn't. I love that they left a lot of things in the show.
Yeah.
This really is becoming the Columbo hour. But anyway.
Yeah.
But Modesty Blaze said, I watched Madigan the other day, which was great. I haven't seen Madigan, but Madigan. Amazon Prime. We've been watching The Kroll Show on Amazon Prime. Oh, Taxi Driver is great. That's a great movie. Is anybody else watching Amazon Prime where you have the ads? What do you think about the ads? Because we've been watching The Kroll Show, but
yeah,
it's hard to tell with The Kroll Show what's an ad sometimes and what's The Kroll Show. But we really like that. We've been watching season 3 there. We've also been watching The Bear on Hulu. We finished season 2 of The Bear, which is a brilliant show. If you've seen that one, I think this one, just to answer this question, did Rest in Peace Mrs. Columbo have scenes in their house? It was a house that was of another policeman. They used another house for that. So I hope that didn't spoil it. But John Williams, happy birthday, John Williams.
Happy
Amazing.
birthday.
Does that mean I have to watch Jaws again today? I've been thinking about watching Jaws again. I've seen Jaws so many times, but I'm thinking about watching that.
Yeah. Didn't he did the music for a film we were watching, and we were like, oh, I didn't think he would do the music for this. But
there were a lot of earlier films. Yeah, there were a lot of earlier films he did the music for.
I can't remember what it was, and I don't think my notes have what it was.
Sue said, I don't mind ads at the beginning of a movie, but I hate when they come in the middle of a show. Yeah, the thing we've been noticing is that most of the time the ad comes at the beginning of the movie, but then when you're watching a TV show, there's multiple ads in there, right?
Yeah, and the problem with Kroll Show is that it's like multiple storylines, it's like little shows within a big show. So when they switch from like Wheels Ontario to like Publicity, there might be Kroll Show might make his own ad, and so you don't know if the Amazon ads are Amazon ads or if they're Kroll Show ads until they really start, and you're like, oh, this is an ad for Amazon. Yeah,
I'm just, I'm just like, I have enough to watch too, so I feel like I don't want to pay extra for ads on a service that I already pay for anyway. So I feel like that's going to be a really big issue going forward as we look at our streaming services, which we don't have. We've canceled a lot of those. Oh yeah, I could also watch Indiana Jones, which I've been thinking about. We were just watching Star Wars yesterday, episode 4. Can you believe we started that? It was really good.
Yeah,
I've seen it so many times, but yeah. We started episode 4 Star Wars, but we've again seen it. You didn't think there were so many droids in the beginning, but there's a lot of droids.
I love the droids, and I didn't remember that like the first 20 minutes of the film are following them in the desert.
Yeah, I know. There was a lot of that. I thought that Obi-Wan Kenobi came in earlier than he did, but that's what I thought. But
yeah, I don't remember
later on
what I thought, but I thought that there were more people in the first half an hour. But I love the droids, so I was happy to learn that.
Yeah. But I mean, what an amazing film. I mean, so many great movies out there. Watching the making of Tax. Oh, I watched a Criterion film called Time on Prime last week, and it was just one commercial before the film and nothing during it, which is good. I hope they continue to do that. But for TV shows, it's a different thing. Any Phantom said I've canceled all streaming services and just use the fast services in my pickups now. That's cool. There's also Tubi and Pluto TV, and a lot of those services are have some decent movies on them for free. Also, if you're going to watch ads, maybe you could watch for free. That may not be free for the longest time. I haven't seen The Making of Taxi Driver. Is that on the? Oh, really good, and was from the 1999 special edition. I have the special edition too, but I guess I forgot that was on there. I also watched Wicked Stepmother on Prime. Not a single ad during the movie. Perhaps they're coming. It has Bette Davis and Barbara Carrera. I forgot seeing it many times on cable back in the day. A lot of added scenes in Star Wars during the 90s. Yeah, that's the thing too. I remember seeing Star Wars in the theater a few times. So I can't really. It's really hard to remember. Maybe things were added. That's why I think Obi-Wan Kenobi should be there before he shows up in the movie.
Maybe the droids weren't in the desert for 20 minutes in the beginning.
Maybe they weren't. Yeah, maybe they weren't.
And then they cut it.
Maybe
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe if somebody knows if they added some droid scenes, I don't know. I am a big fan of Richard Dreyfuss. Yes, such a big fan of Richard Dreyfuss. I love him in The Big Fix. Of course, I love The Goodbye Girl, but I remember there's a movie called The Competition and The Apprenticeship of Duddy Kravitz, which I like a lot. Film Collector Archive says I'm making my way through the BFI Woodfall Revolution in British cinema set right now. There's so much to watch. There's so many great things to watch, right?
Yeah, there's so many things.
How am I can't keep up sometimes. I feel like I just watch what I can when I can. And but that sounds great. Yeah, Always was that's another Steven Spielberg film. I don't know if a lot of people don't like that. Maybe it's underrated, but Always, I think we have Always on that Steven Spielberg set that we have. There's a Blu-ray set that has that movie, which is really good. Yeah. But Richard Dreyfuss, what a brilliant actor. Excelsior Movie Review said, it took me 50 years to see The Conversation with Gene Hackman. I enjoyed it. Francis Ford Coppola released it between the Godfather movies. Yeah, we were talking about The Conversation we had a conversation about The Conversation last week, right? It's still in my watch pile, which I need to see, which I've seen before, but Dick Tracy. I'm sure I saw Dick Tracy way back when, but I haven't seen it. Is that the one where Al Pacino is wearing a lot of makeup? Everybody's wearing a lot of makeup in that movie, but I would like to see that. So this is office hours. This is our weekly. It's like a weekly Q&A type of thing, right? When we're in the office.
Yeah, but I don't think it'll be every single week.
Yeah, it may not be every single week. It may be on a different day, but I'll definitely put it in my community tab, and I'll post. I'll put a link to it and all that kind of thing. I was just thinking too. You and I never worked in an office together, but this is what it might have been like. Imagine this is what it would have been like if you sat next to me in an office, because I probably would talk a lot about movies as we go through the day. Maybe. You'd be like, I need to move my cubicle.
No,
you would be putting in an order right now to move your cubicle, because I'd be talking about, hey, did you see this movie?
No, all I can think of is that episode of The Office where Jim puts his stuff on Dwight's desk, like they overlap like a tiny bit, and then Dwight pushes it, and then he builds a fence of sharpened pencils. And
right.
Jim
it's like a
slams them down with a ruler, and they like fight about like the margin of the desk.
I rarely put anything on your desk though. I try to keep.
Except for right now.
Well, right now I do, but this is because we're doing the live stream, so I have a stack of movies here. But
yeah.
But I rarely put anything. And then sometimes if it crosses the line, I kind of push it back.
Yeah, so I feel like you might be putting in the request for a new location.
I don't think I would, because I don't think I would. I would always want to be sitting next to you in an office, but I'm sure that if this is what it would be like if I was in an office. I would be talking to you about movies and stuff like that, and you'd be like, "Can I get back to work? I'm trying to get back to work. I'm trying to do my job here."
That's probably true since
Meg-
we had chemistry from like pretty much
The
very
Office year.
beginning. But I feel like you don't like. I would be like people in the office would be like, "Who is this guy?" Because he never talks to anybody else.
He
this
talks
much,
about
right?
he talks about everybody now. That's right. I don't know. You'd this is what it would be like in The Office. Cinema Dave, The Office years, narrated by Peter Falk. I love it. I love that. Megadesk.
That's right.
Oh, The French Connection. I love The French Connection. That's a great. Of course, there was that big controversy last year where there was a scene that was cut from The French Connection, right? Especially if you have a digital copy of it. Pacino was nominated. Oh, that's right. Pacino was nominated for supporting actor in Dick Tracy. Maybe I have to see that soon. Oh, I took my kids to the aquarium today and they noticed the Jaws poster there. I told them they need some more years before watching it. Yeah. Hold off on that one before you. I was very young when I saw Jaws, but it's my favorite movie. Favorite movie of all time. Jaws. What's my favorite movie of all time?
Jaws.
There you go. Well, that's it. So I think we're going to do this we're going to try to do this weekly, probably next week. Next week I have to go to the dentist next week.
Yeah.
So I think it's not going to be Thursday, but it may be Wednesday. It could be Wednesday that we'll do this, but we're going to try to do this format where we do the Q&A live. Is 70s your favorite decade? It is a favorite decade. I don't know that it's, I really get into movies in the 20s, 30s. There's a lot of times when I get in the mood to watch older movies. But it is up there. I would say top 3 decades for me. I don't want to go to the dentist, but I have to go next week. This is they mainly added a bunch of extra creatures, cityscape, and droids throughout the original 3 Star Wars films. For instance, Jabba the Hutt didn't originally appear in Star Wars A New Hope. Okay, that's good to know. And of course, I'm not going to remember it because I haven't seen the movie. We have different copies of the movie all over the place. I think we have VHS copies of that movie, of all the movies. And then I don't know if I still have the DVDs, but I have Blu-rays and I think I just have Blu-rays. I don't have 4Ks of that too.
Oh, right. No, we just have that Blu-ray set, right? That box.
We have the Blu-ray. Yeah, we have the Blu-ray set. Yeah. But of course, there are 4Ks out there now, I think. So.
Yeah.
What's everyone planning to watch today? What are you watching tonight? What do you any plans to have any chili with crackers? Any Columbo food? Those are not the droids I'm looking for. Those are not the droids.
Oh, yeah, we should have brought your C-3PO mug to the.
Oh, you're right. Maybe next week for office hours I'll bring the C-3PO mug that I have, because you have an R2-D2 mug.
Yeah.
And I have a C-3PO mug.
Yeah.
Didn't we find out something about C-3PO? It's the operations droid, right?
Yeah.
C-3PO.
He's a protocol droid, so that's what
I thought it was like protocol and operations, but we figured out something about them.
Find out.
You can ask Google University. That's what I'm calling Google now. Google University.
Yeah.
If anybody asks me a question about anything, I say, why don't you check into Google University?
This says that it stands for Commercial Crew and Cargo, but when he talked to what is it, Uncle Owen?
Uncle Owen, yeah.
He asked about like protocols and translation or something like that, and so it was like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, but that was something new we learned, right?
Oh, it was like a communications and protocol.
Communications and protocol.
Or something like that. I was like, oh, okay.
Communications protocol, yeah. Tonight's movie will be 1964's Hot Enough for June. I wish it was, it's getting warmer here too, so I can't wait for spring and summer. I'm already excited about it. Recently thrifted the last VHS edition of the original Star Wars trilogy, 96, before the special editions for $5. That is great. And this is one of the reasons why thrifting is so great too, because you could find something that's out of print, a version that is a special version that someone is just throwing away, right?
Yeah.
Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid is great. I really like that Carl Reiner film with Steve Martin. There's a Kino release of that one. That looks pretty cool. Come Love With Me with Jimmy Stewart. I love all these recommendations too, by the way. Everyone is just amazing with the recommendations, and I just love it. I there's always something new to watch and something new to learn,
yeah.
which I like. Film Collector Archive said, I own the Star Wars despecialized discs on Blu-ray. They're great theatrical editions, just as I grew up on. I don't know if I have though. I don't know. We have to check our releases. Old VHS is the only way to see. We've already started to do some spring cleaning, and I'm probably going to, and I may do a video on this too, but we have a VHS player that I think still works. So I'm thinking about.
It might still work if there isn't a tape.
I hope it doesn't. I hope it doesn't eat tapes, but we'll have to check it out. But I might start collecting. VHS again.
Yeah,
I hate to say it.
Go to that new Goodwill.
Yeah. Gods and Kings in 3D. Oh, R2-D2 is a mobile droid able to communicate and explore. Maybe we'll be talking Columbo and Star Wars next week, probably. I haven't seen Pretty Baby for the first time later. I haven't seen that one. Continued watching the unwatched Larry Cohen with Good as Dead, and then doing a film noir double of Cry Danger and 99 River Street. It's great to watch different. You don't have to wait till Noirvember to watch film noir. You can watch whenever you want. You can watch any movie you want whenever you want. That's the whole idea.
That's right.
That is the whole idea with this whole thing.
That's right.
VHS is certainly affordable to collect. You do have to watch out for mold. I follow someone on TikTok who has a way of cleaning tapes. He's got a T-shirt also. It says no mold. Let's get into it.
That's right.
If you've seen that, I think it's Matt McCarthy. The Terror. Might watch The Terror since I watch Little Shop of Horrors for those Film Masters sets. Yeah. Favorite discoveries this year, Little Darlings, which I think I remember seeing that years ago, which has a new wonderful 4K. Check out the Film Collector Archive channel too, by the way. I think there's a lot of great unbox. I think you're doing, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you're doing a lot of unboxings there too. But check that out. I love that. I love that channel. What else do we have to talk about? This is the thing. We start to talk about things, and then I never get through my watch list, which is fine because it's probably, did we miss anything? Let me just check my notes and make sure we didn't. Maddie K, hello, and goodbye. Hello and goodbye. Have a good rest of the day. Scorsese was originally offered to voice C-3PO. Really? Did he say that in an interview? That's interesting. I have to check that out.
I don't think that would
really
work. C-3PO doesn't have eyebrows, does he?
Does he? Coming in with the jokes. Coming in hot with the jokes.
That's right.
Hopefully the Criterion Flash sale will come up soon. We've been watching a lot of cruise videos too on YouTube. That's the other thing we've been doing. Cruise videos. Little Darlings is great. I need to buy the Blu-ray when VS has it on sale. I was interested in that Vinegar Syndrome has I think they released Phase 4, which I've been interested in. Beneath the Planet of the Apes and Rio Lobo tonight for me. Planet of the Apes. I can make a list of things to pick up at Trader Joe's. We need to get some we need to go to. We were just talking about that today, right? Because as we were going to Target yesterday, we were thinking we should go to Trader Joe's pretty soon.
Yeah. Because
I love that sheet. I need one of those sheet cakes.
Yeah.
The vanilla cream. What is it? The vanilla bean chantilly cheesecake.
Vanilla bean mini.
It's a sheet cake. Yeah, it's a sheet cake.
Well, it's a mini sheet cake.
They could make the name of that a little bit. What am I thinking about buying for the flash sale? I'm definitely. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm thinking about the Chantal Ackerman set for the flash sale. That's what I'm going to be getting. Just so you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe Lone Star.
But this is like the Criterion channel or the Criterion Collection website 24-hour flash sale.
This is the 24-hour flash sale. So lots of pressure. Get your list ready for that because it's only 24 hours, and it's probably not next. It's probably not next week, but the week after. I'm guessing, but I'm only guessing. I haven't seen anything on it.
Yeah. Lone
Star is on my list for sure, and I'm looking forward to watching that. 31 Days of Oscar starts tomorrow. So you have to start recording nonstop. Do you have a DVR that you're recording things on TCM for that? The band Lone Star. Do I know? What's something will be on Something Geeky in our collection tonight at 8 p.m. Is that? I'm assuming that's probably on your channel. Yeah.
No, it seems like Something Geeky in our collection is a channel that's having a live.
Stream tonight. I should check that out. Phase 4 is fantastic. I know. I want to get that.
Is that the ants one?
That's the ants one. Yeah, it was a nice cover too. The at least the Vinegar Syndrome cover that I saw. From Google University, Star Wars despecialized Blu-ray. There are a few offerings. Their original theatrical releases, which we may have some of those. I don't know if we have that or not. But thanks so much for joining me today, and Jesse, of course, during our office hour. These are office hours that we're doing, because we're in the office, right?
So office 1 hour.
Office 1 hour. It's not multiple hours, but I know there was a request last week for me to go maybe 4 or 5 hours at a time. I don't think I can do that. I might be able to go 2 hours, but I don't know if I could. Yeah. I don't have enough iced tea for that. I don't think I have enough iced tea. But if there's any final questions, happy to ask any. Again, we're using this as kind of a as like a live Q&A type of thing.
Yeah.
That was the general idea.
Yeah. So you could ask questions now instead of waiting until the monthly Q&A.
Because we used to do a monthly Q&A video, which we're not really doing anymore. I know I don't have my hoodie on today, but I do look a little, I guess I'm looking a little bit Obi-Wan. If that's possible.
I love how they describe Obi-Wan, or they call him Old Ben in the beginning of the movie, right? And he's like, "Oh, you mean that old hermit that lives outside of town?" It's like,
but we too kind of live outside of town.
I mean, not really, but I just thought it was interesting that like that's how they describe him, and then it kind of like foreshadows like so many films in the future, right?
That's true. He's just out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and then like Yoda lives in the swamps of Dagobah, right? Like, so every Jedi is like, I want none of this.
Yeah, right. They've kind of disappeared from society.
They've dropped out of society.
They dropped out of sight. Let me check my notes one more time, and then we'll say so long for today. Cruise videos. We're watching cruise videos. Going on a cruise. I don't think we're going to make it on a cruise anytime soon, but we are thinking about it. Host is Chris C., the slasher dude. We watched animated geeky film in our unwatched collection. Favorite Star Wars character? Go.
R2.
R2. Yeah, look at that. Who's my favorite Star Wars character? I was going to say Chewbacca right off the bat, but I didn't.
It's probably like Luke or Han.
That's so tough for me. See, I can't. This is why I can't do lists.
Just like pick 5.
I'm going to go with C-3PO though, because you picked R2, so I'm going to have to. Yeah. That's a great question. Well, this has been fun. This has been a fun episode of Office Hours, our weekly Q&A live stream. And I, again, so appreciate anyone showing up to these and asking questions. You can always ask me a question on the replay or on any of the videos. I do what I can to answer as many comments as possible. All of my social media links are in the description. So if you want to follow me on Letterboxd and you haven't done so, feel free to do that. I follow everybody back because I love all the recommendations and suggestions there too. I love Letterboxd. That's where I'm keeping track of everything I'm watching all the time. And I think they're going to add TV shows too. So I can add Columbo on there at some point. I couldn't find all the Columbo movies, I don't think, on Letterboxd. So I'm hoping they'll add those.
Columbo movies are tricky because you have to search by the title of the episode. It's not just like Columbo the movies and then there's a list,
By the way, we love Views and Cues. We really look forward to watching Views and Cues. If you haven't seen their channel, they were just on Icon of the Seas. They might still be on Icon of the Seas. I don't know, the biggest Royal Caribbean ship. And we really enjoy their videos. So I'm glad you mentioned Views and Cues, but we also watch Ordinary Adventures. Letterboxd is my second home. I love Letterboxd. They're doing so many great things with Letterboxd. They have a great YouTube channel. They have a great, I think they're on TikTok also. I'm on TikTok as well. Trying to show a little bit more of my collection on TikTok, which is a lot of fun. But what was I saying? Oh, all the social media links are in the description. So if you follow me on Instagram or anything like that, I will definitely follow you back. But thanks to everyone for joining me today. And Jesse, of course, producing the show, but also answering comments and, well, not answering. You're monitoring the chat is what I'm saying.
Sometimes I answer questions during the chat, but I mostly monitor the chat. So thank you for being polite and respectful.
Thank you to everybody for that. And thanks to all of you. Like I said, I so much appreciate everyone coming to these, making some time in your day to do that. Hopefully it's a little break for you. Hopefully you get some laughs. Ordinary Adventures is awesome. Yeah. Well, they were also on Icon of the Seas. And in fact, they just have their new cruise videos are out for Icon of the Seas, right? So they do cruise videos and parks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Jar Jar Binks. Not a fan. I'm going to say not a fan.
I mean, I haven't watched these films in so long, like pretty much since they came out. So
The movie addict said, my lunch breaks are better with laughs. Like I said, hopefully we provided some laughs, a little entertainment during the workday, and we can share the office hours with you and answer any questions that you have. But if you're watching on replay, we'll be happy to answer those things in the comments. Thanks, everybody. And we'll talk to you next week.